Welcome everyone to Q Sports International's presentation of the 41st annual BCAPL National Championships being held at the Rio Hotel and Suites and Casino. We've got a Scotch doubles team here, and this is for fifth, sixth. This is the Scotch doubles. There's 22 entrants. You've got Kelly Isaac and Brandon Hellett versus Tyler Steyer and Bonnie Hunkins. That is Brandon that's racking the balls, and that's Kelly at the table. Looks like they'll be breaking first. This is a race to four, playing 8-ball, and it's double elimination. The loser here will be out in the fifth, sixth standing with a take-home pay of $300. So they want to keep going. First prize is $1,800. Looks like Brandon and Kelly will be breaking first. And this is a race to four, alternate break format. So that means that they'll break. Next game, the other team will break, which is Tyler and Bonnie. And the first 1 to 4 wins the game. We are sponsored by Diamond Products, Omega Billiards, Predator Chalk, Kamui Tips, Viking Cues, Cyclop Balls, and the Rio All Suites Hotel and Casino. And proudly presented by Q Sports International. Here comes Brandon to break the balls now. This is BCA rules, of course. This is a BCA LPs, so 41st annual. We're here till the 29th, at which time Saturday, Sunday, and Monday will present the U.S. Open 8-ball championships, but that'll be held at Griff's on 9-foot tables. Meanwhile, back at the ranch, everything taking place at the Rio here will be on the 7-foot diamond tables. We're at the back of the main ballroom, and we've got all kinds of lights. We've got 4 tables lined up here for your viewing pleasure and streaming pleasure. And you can see some people, some of their friends around watching. And we're at the very back of the hall. There's 50 vendors here at the Rio in the grand ballroom. Everything that's pool and about pool is available here this week, these 12 days. 10 days, excuse me. I can't count. 19 to 29 is 10, last time I checked. Either way, Brandon broke. Kelly comes to the table. Kelly has about a 585 Fargo, whereas Brandon has a 719. Their opponents, Tyler has a 710 and Bonnie has a 530. There is a cap on the total of Fargo points that you can have, or Fargo rating, and that's 1,300 per team. And Kelly has missed that ball. Ouch. That'll bring Tyler to the table, and you got a kind of couple of clumps here. You got a clump on the top and a clump on the bottom of balls. They broke in 2 sections. Let's see what he decides to play here. Looks like he's going to have to. Well, let's see what they are. Kelly shot at that 5 ball. And he's trying to decide what he wants to shoot here. Looking at the non. Is that the 1 ball that he's looking at? Keeps looking at the 1 ball in the side pocket, or the 7 ball in the upper corner pocket, which is what he's looking at now. So he seems to prefer the solids to the stripes. And since Kelly missed the opening shot, the table is still open. He can take stripes or solids. Now he's asking his partner, since there is coaching allowed, which do you prefer and how do you want me to do this? And communication can be used between the partners. You just can't yell at your opponent, but there is communication. He takes the 1 ball first and the side ball. Now he'll probably play the 3. Or it won't go past the 5, so they'll play the 5 ball next. Off the 3. 2, they got to do something with that 4 ball. And that 4 ball is surrounded by that 2 stripes there and make it hard to get to. But once the 5 ball's out of the way, it'll go to the same pocket, but that means you're going to have to remove the 12. And let's see how how Bonnie goes about this. Don't want to follow that in. Well, even if she did, they got a shot on the deuce. But that's going to take them away from the 4. And see, they want to get that 4 ball next because those 2 balls up on top, the 6 and the 7, just above the 8 ball to the right, are the next 2 balls they want to make after these 2 down here. And the 4 ball is their problem ball, and you want to address that as soon as possible. And he's got the right angle to do it. He can actually shoot the 2 ball and use the 8 ball to stop the cue ball for a nice shot on the 4. Or end up in that area if he can. But that's where he wants to be next. If he goes by it and doesn't like it, he can always take the higher shot next. He did that very, very nicely with perfect speed. Now Bonnie should come around here and try to, again, end up close to the 8 ball, just not behind it, anywhere but behind it, for a shot on the 6 or the 7 ball in the corner pocket. And if she can get there, more than likely, they'll run this rack out right from the break. I'm sorry, they'll run this rack out and break service on the other team. Break service, what I was trying to say, and I said right from the break. Oops. Anywhere but behind the 8 ball. Ouch. 2 inches to either side and they have a shot. Now he has to kick at the 6 ball and try to make that, and that's probably what he'll call. There's 3,444 square inches on this table. And he did he make that ball? He did. He made beautiful shot. Beautiful shot. Nice kick in. Now she's got a severe cut on the 7 ball. I don't believe it goes to the left-hand corner, so she has to cut it back to the corner pocket. In the background there, you see clapping is Roberto Gomez, who came in, I believe, 5th, 6th in the U.S. Open 10-ball championships, held at Griff's this past Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. And he's hanging around here and did a good job in the 9-ball, but he's waiting to get back into the U.S. Open 8-ball championships the Saturday, Sunday, and Monday, the 29th, the 30th, 31st, and 1st, I believe. A nice shot there, hoping for a shot on the 8. Does she have one? Does it go by the 13? If it doesn't, he'll cut it back to the corner pocket on the right. It does not go by the 13. Great camera work. Vincent's taking care of the camera work today, and he's doing a great job like he always does. Sometimes I think he reads my mind. He's cutting that ball back. And fortunately, the 8 and the 12 are there because he's going to come across, and it could kiss. But it's going to be close. But that 12 and 13 ball, more than likely, will keep it. He'll probably hit the 13 if he makes this ball. It's going to come close. He's probably going to hit about the middle diamond, so no, he won't hit the 13. Let's see exactly where it goes. And great shot of this ball coming into the pocket. Dead in. Wow, what a nice shot. First game goes to Tyler Steyer and Bonnie Hunkins. They're from Waukesha, Wisconsin, and they play out of Flanagan's Pub. Kelly Isaac and Brandon Hellett are from Toledo, Ohio. And Brandon has a line of pool billiard clothing. It's called Worldwide Hustle and Grind. And Kelly Isaac is sponsored by Blackheart Tips. You see them sitting patiently waiting their turn because they broke first and they had their serve broken like they would in tennis. And it's a race to 4. That's very important. And the reason for it is whenever the score is tied, like 1-1, 2-2, 3-3, because it's not going to go to 4. Whoever gets to 4 wins. Uh, they get to break. And breaking when it's tied 3-3 is all important. As you just saw, the team ran out on their break because they didn't make a ball. And if you can make and break a ball, these teams are well skilled that they can run the table. They got great skills, and there's some great skills sitting behind them watching. That's not something you see every day as a pro player is watching. So we've got a decent little audience. There's about 10 people, around 15 people. And there goes the ball on the break. There goes another one. He's got choice. There goes the cue ball. Good night. Open table. Now Kelly and Brandon. Brandon stepped into the table first. Well, they both got up. Let's see which one steps to the table. But they get to take over and hopefully do the same thing their opponents just did to them, is run out on their break and tie things up at 1. It's funny how he's very intently looking at the table and saying, do you want to go first or do I want to go first? It doesn't matter which person shoots first. It starts over every rack. In other words, if you shot the last 8 ball in, you don't have to break next. You can start all over again. They're going to start with the 1 ball that might be a problem, which is the 5, because all the rest of the solids are up table and very easy to run, very negotiable in a run. Four ball to the side. The only problem with shooting the 4 ball right now to the side is that the cue ball is going to be hard to stop right there for a shot. It's going to have to run just a little bit because it's got a pretty steep angle. So she might shoot the 2 ball first, then the 3, come down for the 1, 7, or 4. No matter what they do with those 3 balls, they want to end up on the left side of the table for the 8 ball. For a straight-in shot on the 8 ball in the bottom left-hand corner. And there's a good view of it right now. See that nice open space right there by the side pocket? That's where they'd like to be. About a diamond above the side pocket. Easy. Now she can come down for he can come down for the 1, for the 7. I would say that they probably want to shoot the 7 or the 1 last. So he's probably going to come to the right of the 1 ball between the rail and come over for the 4. Come on down. You better come down. If they shoot the 4 ball last, if they shoot the 4 ball last, that cue ball better be on the bottom part of the table so that they can go to the head rail and over to the left. If they have to come to the bottom of the table where the 14, 15, 13, and 9 are, they could be in trouble coming back up and might not get a shot. So for safety's sake, that's the way you want to run it. The 4 ball should not. The 4 ball should be next. If not now. Well, guess what? They're going to shoot the 4 ball next, but not in the side pocket. They're going to shoot it in the corner and leave themselves a shot for the 7 in the opposite, in the left-hand upper corner for a shot to swing the cue ball over for a shot on the 8. And I think they'll get this done. This is pretty straightforward, and it would take an unforced error to not get this done right here. And with Brandon's 719 Fargo, he's more than capable of handling this. He's going to try to hold the cue ball there, though. He doesn't want it to get away from there. There you go. Problem here is she's going to cut this 7 ball, and more than likely that cue ball is going to run into the 11 ball. So what she wants to do is to make sure she hits the head rail, the side rail, then the 11. She wants to come to the space between the rail and the ball to guarantee herself a shot. She just has to make sure she either avoids it altogether or comes between the rail and the ball for a shot. She's going to draw right into the 12, it looks like. Don't come out. You didn't want if you're going to bump balls, bump the 1 ball that can help you, which was the 11. Now we're in for a jump shot. This is trouble here. This is trouble for them. They had a pretty nice run out. She follows the ball. She's 9 out of 10 times going to get past that 11. So that was an unforced error. By bumping that ball, she created an error. She made a mistake. Ouch. But she was trying to bump it right to the 11, so she'd still have a clear path to the 8. It just missed the 11 and came out and said, "Got to go over me. You're not going through me." See how Brandon handles his jump cue. He's going to elevate pretty soon. He's aiming it, lining it up. 8 ball in the corner. Now comes the elevation, up and over. What a great shot. What a great shot. Exciting shot. And as you can see, well, you couldn't see it on the screen, but everybody on that back row, even the opponents, were clapping and snapping their fingers for that shot. And now we're tied at 1. Brandon's going to rack the balls. He'll probably choose to break, too. And the man sitting right next to Roberto Gomez is Skylar Woodward, one of the young guns of the American Tour in the America. Mosconi Cup player, teammate. Well, they're not teammates, but we've had a who's who of pool here at the Rio this year. They had the 9-ball challenge, and there was 92 entrants, and about 60 of them were pros that had played the U.S. Open the 3 days prior. So they're hanging around Vegas because, like I said, next weekend they'll be playing in the U.S. Open 8-ball championships. And it's got a nice price tag this year. I mean, you win that and you're taking home $15,000. Second place is $10,000. How do you like that? Third place is $8,000. So we got some money in the U.S. Opens, and we got some money available here at the Rio. This is sponsored by Diamond Pool Products, Viking Cues. Viking has the new shafts out, the Exact Shot shaft and the Exact Shot shaft X2. They're also running a 50% off show special on their cues, so you can go up over to the Viking booth and pick up a Viking cue at half off. They're also debuting their 2018 line of new cues, and you can pre-order them now. You got a first chance to order on their new prototypes. Meanwhile, there goes the 10 ball, and the cue ball went somewhere because I don't see it on the table. And so here we go again. Each team has run out on the other team's break. If this continues, it's going to be kind of strange and different to call a winner. It'll be the team that makes the error on the break. The last team to make the error on the break. How's that? We're here at the 41st annual BCAPL National Championships. We're here for 10 days till the 29th. You got 50 vendors, about 4 guys that do cue repair, will replace new tips on your cues. You name it, you get it right here. You got cue makers. You got several cue makers. You got Predator Chalk's another one of the sponsors. They got that new 1080. You want Yvonne Simonis Cloth, Diamond Products, Cyclops Balls. One of the things the BCA did this year is they replaced all their balls, all 300. They got 300 tables with brand new set of balls. Every table, a brand new set of balls. Cyclops Balls. And meanwhile, Tyler is surveying his options here, and he's looking at coming up for the 3 ball next. He's going to go past, right between the 1 and the 3, come off the rail and get straight in on the 3 ball. And then probably shoot the 1 ball next. And again, come up table because he's got the 6 at the very head of the table in the middle and the 4 ball right next to it, and then the 8 ball just to the side. So they're going to want to make the 3, the 1, the 7, the 2, the 4, and the 6, and then the 8 ball. And again, run out on their opponent's break. And score another win and take a lead 2-1. This is a fun event. I mean, you get It's a partners event. It can be a lot of fun playing this way with a team, with a teammate, especially when you play as well as these two and the other two, of course, as these two teams. When your skill sets are at this level, um, it's a fun game. It might not be quite as much fun if you have one person with a really good skill set and the other person that's not making the easy shots that are being left for them to make. Play position for an easy shot and your partner misses the ball. Ouch! It can be disheartening sometimes. Or if you have enough alcohol, it can be a lot of fun. Tyler looks a little young. Maybe he's not drinking alcohol yet, but he's in Vegas. They're a long way from Waukesha, Wisconsin, though, and the weather is a lot different than what they're used to. Oh, he came all the way up for the 2 ball. Or was he trying to come up for the 4 ball? Well, I'm not sure what she'll play. She could play the 2 ball and get position on the 6, or she can play the 4 ball and get position on the 2 or the 6. The way the balls are laying, it doesn't really matter which ball they shoot last, so the key shot can be any of the 4 because it's going to take pretty close to a stop shot or just a little bit of, natural running ball to get good position on the 8. Usually you want to find the key ball or the last ball that you're going to shoot that leaves you straight in position on the 8. It looks like it's going to be the 6 ball because I don't think he'll shoot the 6 ball. I think he'll shoot the deuce and play position either for the 6 or the 7. I would play position for the 7 ball. He can bump the 8. He can just come off the rail a little bit. He's got too severe of an angle. If he shoots this ball, he could run into a lot of problems. He's not. He's looking right at the 2. He still likes that 6 ball, though. He played the 6 ball next. He's going to be 2 straight in for it, though. See, she's got to get safe for the 7. I would have played the 7 ball next and drawn back for the 6 and then contended with the 8. She's 2 straight in to get good position. It looks like she's going to, she's got just a hair of an angle so she can follow 2 rails like she's measuring right now to put the cue ball right about there. Again, she could ride in. By following this ball 2 rails, she's going to use high English and give it a little bit of stroke because she can't let it get hung up on the rail. And she could end up behind the 8 with a little adrenaline flowing, and she missed the ball. And she got hung behind the 8 too. So the 2 to the 7 would have been better, especially in hindsight as we can see. But that's what they played. You got to make choices. Now, Tyler's probably thinking I should have shot that 6 ball, but that cue ball would have had to run down and back up again. And there were so many ways to get in trouble that he made the right choice. She just happened to miss the ball. Had she made the ball, the cue ball probably wouldn't be where it is. But one thing about making the ball is she didn't leave much. So Kelly has to find a way to play safe. She's got to find a way to get that cue ball behind the 9, down by the 12, somewhere where they can't see the 6 ball or have easy access to the side rail right next to it so they can go rail first and make it. So, and this is tough because they're right behind the 8, and the only ball they can see is that 14 ball on the side rail on the left. See the 2 balls on the left of your screen? Those 2 balls right there. They got to find a way to get behind something. And if she hits the right side of the ball on the rail, she could go right in the drink of the side pocket. And she has to hit it with perfect speed to stay behind the 11. Ideally, you want to get down at the middle diamond down here behind this 12 ball. If you could do that, you're golden. But how? They're in a tough place. They're discussing their options. They're tied, one apiece. So every game's important. It's a race to 4. So the first 1 to 4 games wins this. And the loser will have to settle for 5th, 6th, and their tournament life is over for this event. I'm sure they're playing in the men's and singles and men's women's. So there's other events they are more than likely entered into, but this event is the one they're playing in at the moment. Little shout out to Judy Brookins and her sister Kathy Gregory. I think they're listening today. Down in Tucson, Arizona. They should be here in Vegas partying with me right after this match, but they chose to stay down there to have a birthday party with their sister-in-law. Just think. I hope I didn't get in trouble with my boss over there by shouting out to you guys. Vince just smiles. He is so easygoing. It feels like you don't work for anybody. I guess that's a way to be as long as you don't do anything wrong, right, Vincent? They're still discussing the shot, and I still can't tell what they're going to do. I can't see well, heck, they have a hard time even seeing the 11 ball. They can't see the 11 ball. They have the only ball they see is the 14. They got to make a decision, and then they got to execute it. Making the decision is one thing. Executing it is something else. The good thing is they're having fun at it. Look, they're both smiling. See how fun this event is? Just take a look. And if you could see their opponents on the left side, Tyler and Bonnie, they're smiling too. They were smiling and laughing. There they are in the background, just standing there watching. Fantastic. Fun event. Very fun event. If you've got somebody you play pool with at home, join the BCA, sign up, and play the Scotch doubles. Come on out to Vegas for 10 days well, this event is only 3 days. So come out for the 3 days and have a good time in Vegas and enjoy playing pool. This is the biggest pool tournament in the world. You got 300 tables in 3 different rooms, over 100 tables in each room, or in some of the rooms, excuse me. And in conjunction with that, you've got the U.S. Open that flanks the 10 days of being in Vegas. You got 3 days when you first get here of U.S. Open and the best players in the world. We had an international field this year. And there goes Kerplunk. She hit the wrong ball, so it's ball in hand. And she went in the pocket, which is ball in hand again. But they only get ball in hand once. So, ouch. And Kelly and Brandon broke the balls. So it looks like Tyler and Bonnie will proceed to, well, they've got a problem. They have to do something with the 7 ball. And, you know, if he puts that ball there and shoots the 7 ball in the corner pocket, that's a tough shot for an opening shot, but it wins you the game. If you're at home, I would actually call a ref for this shot. I would recommend calling a ref because this is being against the rail. Although with his skill sets, he'll execute this shot well. A beginner player or even an intermediate player might foul this ball by coming over the top of it and pushing into the 6 ball and making double hitting the cue ball. Got to watch this closely. He hit it perfect. What a beautiful stroke he put on that ball. And you can tell by someone's Fargo rating pretty much what to expect from their skill set. It's coming out that Fargo is an international rating system that's very, very similar to some of the chess rating systems that are used, and it's being used internationally. And it has to do that it's a huge database that goes in and it records all the games played. And he's going to play this ball in the corner pocket. Most people would have hit the rail, come down for the 8, and played it in the same pocket. But she has enough confidence and Tyler to shoot this ball down the length of the table that she just stopped the cue ball because it was the easiest thing to do. She didn't take a chance on maybe, missing the ball or leaving. He's playing into the side, so it must go in the side pocket. But this is great camera work. I mean, this tells us exactly what the player's doing before he does it, just by watching how he lines up. Side pocket. And 2-1. And he hits it with authority too. Draws into the side rail and says, whammo. Or as one of my other commentators in the other matches would have said, boom. We just had the match prior to this. There was all three of us, Freddie Agnier, Robert LeBlanc. We were all three in the booth. We had a great time just cutting up with all three of us, and the team that played had a good time, and both teams, and it was a fun match. All these matches will be posted to YouTube, and as you know, since you're watching, if you're watching, they're on YouTube Live right now. And those staying at the Rio have it on channel 25 in their rooms. They can follow along or hurry up and get down here because we're at 2-1. We got a couple games left, and enjoy this match. On the way by, pick up a drink. Get me a shot of tequila, will you? I think I'm going to start coughing soon. Vince looks over at me. You better not. I have water, guys. I was just kidding about the tequila. Game number 4 at a 2-1 score in a race to 4. Bonnie's going to break the balls this time. Here we go. I just now noticed. I don't know what I was thinking, but Bonnie's left-handed. And I seem to notice that for the most part because I'm left-handed, and I pretty much always noticed that. She made a couple balls on the break, both in the side pocket. Balls are spread open very, very nice. The 3 ball could present a problem. The 5 ball's a problem, so they'll probably take stripes. Even though they made 2 balls on the, no, they made 1 of each. More than likely, the stripes are ready to go. He could start with a combo right off the 12-9. That opens up the rack completely and pretty much makes it very, very runnable. Taking care of the ball at the head rail so you don't have to worry about getting behind it is good. I actually like leaving a insurance ball, which would be the 10 ball, in case when I'm running the 4 balls down here on the bottom, if I get a little out of line and I can't get to them, like if I get behind the 4-1 or something, or if I do something wrong, I might have an insurance ball that I can shoot. But he's going to shoot that first, so they're going to take care of the balls at the top of the table, and then come down and take care of the balls at the bottom of the table. In 8-ball, when you're playing 8-ball, you like to find a key shot. The key shot here would probably be the 14 ball or the 11 ball for them. And the key shot is the ball that you make last that you can just stop the cue ball and you're straight in on the 8. And count backwards. You kind of look backwards, see what leads you to that ball and the ball before that and the ball before that. And that's how you kind of decide your pattern, the pattern you want to run playing 8-ball. I mean, there's a couple of books. I think there's one book written, I believe I've seen, that says how to play perfect 8-ball, things like that. I don't know if they say that because I never read them, but the little 8-ball that I play, that's pretty much how I go about it. And I've heard from many players. In fact, when I had Robert LeBlanc and Freddie Agnier in here, they said the same thing. So they agreed with me. It's about the only thing we agreed on, but it was fun. It was fun. Here comes the combo next. And you know what his insurance ball is if he shoots the combo? The 14 in the side. And that's exactly what he's looking at. That's probably the next shot. In case that 12 ball goes to a place that he can't make it next, the 14 in the side would be next. He'll shoot this soft. This doesn't take a rocket science. These balls are laying very, very nice. That ball stopped perfect. Perfect. Now she could shoot the 12 and try to get the 14 next, but I think she should shoot the, well, actually, I kind of agree with shooting the 12 next, even though I don't like it because it's so easy to overrun this and get in trouble. If she overruns the 14 ball, she won't have shape on the 11 ball either. She'll be about straight across from the 11, and the 14 doesn't go in the corner pocket to the left because of the 8 ball. So this is a little bit of, they want to discuss this shot. It looks like the 7 ball that's by the left-hand corner pocket does not block the 8. So either the 14 or the 11, yeah, they're going to shoot this one first. That's actually a good decision because now she can come up and shoot the 12 ball. He can shoot the 12 ball next and get her a very easy shot on the 11. So she can just stop the cue ball and he'll have an easy shot on the 8. They're discussing it. I like Bonnie shooting this 14 ball on the side. Of course, it's not what I like. It's what they can do. And the fact that I like it doesn't mean I'm right. You could have 3 setups like this, and you can have 4 players, and you're going to get 4 different ways of going about running the balls. If you have 2 pro players, you're probably going to have 2 ways of running the balls. Their way and the other 2 players' way, so 3 ways. Now right here, he wants to get a good shot on the 12. Make the 12 and get a good shot on the 11. Or might he shoot the 11 first? If he shoots the 11 first, and he can put the cue ball right where he's at, he'll come down with left English, come to the side rail, the bottom rail, and back up. That means that Bonnie will have to run the cue ball to get good position on the 8. If she overruns it, Tyler Bean, having the higher Fargo, more than likely has a better skill set to pocket the ball. So in this particular instance, they may be better served shooting the 11 ball first. But it's their choice, and they want to play within their skill sets. He's going to shoot the 12 ball first, and right where he pointed with his cue stick before he walked away is where he wants the cue ball. If he's short of that, he'll still be okay. He might be behind the 8. Just don't go over behind. Again, don't get behind the 8. Remember, he had to make that beautiful kick shot on the 6 ball one of the last games, the first game, I think, because he got behind the 8. Oh, this is tight. This is really tight. It looks like it goes. Oh, he's pushing, making sure the spot doesn't disturb the path of the cue ball. All she has to do is pocket the ball and just use a little bit of follow. Softly just pocket the ball, and he'll have a straight-in shot on the 8 ball in the corner pocket where she's standing. And for a 3-1 lead, this is a race to 4. That means that they're on the hill. Kelly and Brandon will have their work cut out to make sure they stay in this match. The loser will come out of this tournament at 5th, 6th, but they do get $300 for their efforts these past 2 days. But no one wants to lose, so these guys are going to work hard to make this match a little more exciting and a little bit longer. Seen some good shooting here. You've seen several runouts. You've seen a couple of great shots. That kick shot, that draw shot that he made off a back cut 2 balls in the first game, I believe. So you've seen some good shooting from both teams. Pretty solid play. Keep in mind that we're sponsored by Diamond Products, the 300 Diamond 7-foot tables. Cyclops balls, 300 brand new sets of balls on all these diamond tables. Predator chalk, Kamui tips, Viking cues, Cyclops balls, and the Rio All Suites Hotel and Casino. And in case you forgot who I am, my name is George Teche. I'm from Tucson, Arizona, and Q Sports International gives me the pleasure and honor to commentate these matches. I don't know which one it is. Testing. Is this one? Nice break by Kelly. Excuse me, guys. My little cough is acting up. Well, these guys need this game because if they don't get it and their opponents do, it's over for them. If you're in need of a cue, go over to Viking Cues. They have a 50% off show special. Go see Rick in the Viking booth. Nice combo. Nice combo. The 5-ball's a problem, but having the 7-ball and the 2-ball right next to it make it solvable. They can just play position on that 5-ball for this lower right-hand corner pocket. Play the 3-ball next and probably come up for the 2 now and try to get to the 2-5. Heck, they could shoot the 5-ball last and have good position on the 8 from there too. She comes up for the 7, shoot the 5-ball next, the 2-ball, the 1-ball, either one of those. Again, the 8-ball's out in the open, so. But you got to make the 1, and she did. Oh boy, did she! I think she blew that ball in. Is that a blow fall? That's not fair. That ball hung up, and then all of a sudden just barely rolled down. 7 balls next. He's looking down. The 5-ball does go by, but they want to give themselves a really good shot on the 5. You can see some of our sponsors there on those posters on the back. You got Viking on the left, Cyclop, Omega. Fun way of spelling it. It's usually Omega. And I actually have a friend and a good player that works for him is Gilbert Martinez. And then Simonis over to the right. Cyclops balls right now is right behind the table. You can't see it. And Kamui tips over to the left by the Viking banner. You know that now they're forced to shoot the 5-ball next, and they must feel it goes by the 12. It does go by the 12, but he has to brush the rail to get it by. If he brushes too much rail, it might not go in. And of course, if he hits the 12-ball, it's not going in. Position on this 1-ball is pretty natural, and it's right in. Nicely done. Now she'll hit the head rail and come straight down the table. Just do not get behind that ball that's on the left of the 8-ball. If she can leave the cue ball in the vicinity on the line that it is right now, if you draw a line of the 8-ball, that's what I mean by the line, she'll be perfect. And That is perfect. Straight in, long shot. On a big table, this is one of the hardest shots in pool. Well, it's not really hard, but long shots, long straight in shots are the hardest, some of the hardest shots. 2-3. Problem is their opponents get to break. But so far this rack or this match, each opponent has lost their break with the exception of this one right here. The break here is the first time the breaking team won the game. And Tyler Steyer, who's racking the balls from Waukesha, Wisconsin, and plays out of Flanagan's Pub. Next time he's at Flanagan's, you guys out there got to buy him a drink or get him a sandwich. Racking the balls and probably will break them pretty hard. Wants to maintain control. Make the ball and run out. Our crowd here is growing a little bit back in the stands, and we have some people in the back. We lost a couple of pro players that were watching. They decided they're going to go either do something else or they stepped out for a little bit and be coming back. But Brandon's son actually, I think he ended up 5th, 6th in the juniors, and he's sitting out here on the side over to the left watching, along with one of the other players that played in the juniors. They're sitting there together. He broke the balls, pretty well controlled, but looks like a ball's coming over. There they go, right in the hole, 2 of them. The last 2 rolling balls went in the corner pocket on the right. And open table. And under BCA rules, you don't have to make what you take. You can choose either stripes or solid once a ball goes in. If the 8 ball goes in on a break, you have the choice to spot the ball and continue shooting and pick a set, either stripes or solid, or re-rack and break again. 1 foul, foul, ball in hand. And when you take ball in hand, in other rules, sometimes it has to be behind the head string. In BCA, you can place the cue ball anywhere on the table. And they're discussing their options. What do you like? Let's see what they like. The 2 ball is a little bit of the problem since it doesn't go by to the left-hand corner pocket. It doesn't go by the right-hand corner pocket because of the 9 and the 13. So the stripes are probably better available since the 9 ball will go by to the corner or to the side. Then the 2 ball will go in the side pocket too. So pretty much they have their choice, and either set is available for a run. There's a good look at some of the people watching this match. And this is, well, you know what, almost 10 o'clock in Vegas? That's 10 o'clock. They chose solids. That was a solid, I think. 4 or 5. Yep, it was. So now they got to navigate this 3 ball, 5 ball, 4 ball, 7 ball, and 2. And they'll have fun with it. If they can keep the cue ball between the 7 and the 8 in the middle of the table, and then come down a little bit for the 2, this is done, and they'll move on to play for 4th place. And Kelly and Brandon will have to settle for 5th, 6th. If Kelly and Brandon win, well, then we go to the hill. And we have 1 game for the whole enchilada. Anytime you're playing balls to the side pocket, like this shot right here, if he was to play that, you have to be careful that you have to get good position on your next shot. Otherwise, it makes the position for the next ball that much harder. Because usually your angles you can get mixed up on your angles. Or not so mixed up, just harder to get to the next angle that you want. Well, I thought he had a little bit of an angle there. He was straight into that ball and was able to stop it. They're trying to find a way to get to the 2 ball. And they can do it by shooting the 7, coming 2 rails and leaving the cue ball just past the 10 on the left side of it. So they can shoot the 2 ball on the side. They'd like to get either straight in. If they come too far, they can shoot the 5. If they don't go far enough, they can shoot the 2 in the corner and then the 3. So that's actually some smart play there. But Bonnie has to come down here and get position for this 2 ball. She might sit there and let Tyler get position for the 2 ball. 2 ball is key here. It's very, very key. It's the key to this rack. If they don't get shape on that, they're going to be in trouble. Perfect. Absolutely perfect. She ran the cue ball just exquisitely. How's that? Every once in a while I like to use big words. It's funny, when I said exquisitely, all I could think of was seafood. And the Rio has a great buffet. Yeah, we got Roberto back again. Roberto Gomez from the Philippines watching. Our audience is growing a little bit. That's kind of nice. It's nice to see some interest in these matches. I mean, there's 126 tables in this room, and there's probably about 60 of them still being played on. Well, we got a little bit of an angle here that is going to be a little bit hard to maneuver for Bonnie. She's got a 5 ball that she's going to have to play in the corner pocket, and the cue ball is going to lead to the rail and away from it and away from the 3 ball. And I think if she misses this 5 ball, they might have 6 balls, but the advantage will lie with Kelly and Brandon to win this game. And they want this game. They want to close it out. They don't want the Hill game, especially when you're so close right here. Why risk another game? You want to make this right here. If she uses center English, if she uses low English on the shot, she could scratch in the side pocket. If she uses high English, she'll probably not scratch, hit the rail, but she might come over here by this 12 ball and get behind the 14. That would be trouble. John Lehman is standing right here next to me. Mr. Lehman, how are you?
I'm well, sir, and you?
You hear him? Doing great. He's our tournament director for the U.S. Opens. We just had a great outing at Griff's on Decatur and Twain here in Las Vegas. What a posh, elite, good food bar. It is a nice place. Great equipment, all diamond tables. Best room in Nevada. One of the best in the country. Well, Brandon and Kelly are back to the table. That's the one thing that Tyler and Bonnie did not want to have. Starting out with this 9 ball. This 13 is probably next. It wouldn't be a bad idea to shoot the 11 ball now and stop it there, shoot the 12, the 10, the 13, and the 8, because they would all be stop shots. But she get the cue ball in a position where they have a choice, and all 3 shots lead to an easy shot on the 8. See, he's looking to make sure he gives her an angle, so she may run the cue ball a little closer to the 13, leave him straight in, and be sure not to get behind the 5 or the 8. And the way you solve those riddles and problems, folks, when you're shooting shots like this, is to make sure you leave the cue ball exactly where you want it. Because if it runs off, sometimes 2 inches, an inch and a half, it can change everything. Now you see, he left her an angle where she can follow the cue ball, just hit it with center high English, pocket the 10, come off the rail, and come between the 8 and the 5 for a shot on the 11 ball. It's a natural shot. If she hits it too hard, she probably runs into the 8. If she hits it too soft, she might. Doubt it, but she might get behind the 5. Ouch. That was the one place in 344 square inches that she did not want to be. There's a ton of places she could have put the ball on that table, but not right there. See, I can preach all I want, but they sometimes don't do it, do they? Oh, my. That's what I liked. I like shooting the 11, the 12, the 10, and you were done. Because they were just stop shots, all three of them. No, you couldn't. And they were lined up where there were stop shots. Wow. What do you do here? I'm going to 3-rail kick this ball, but the 3 ball's dead in the way. I'm going to go to the side rail, the head rail on the right, and then the side rail on the right, and call that 11 ball in the side pocket. Or, no, he can't get there. I was going to say masse to about where he just had his hand, and spin up for that 11. And no, side pocket's in the way to go to the right. So, ouch, he's in trouble. He's in big, big trouble. If it's possible to hit the 11 and leave the cue ball on the head rail, anywhere on the head rail, would be the best they could do. One rail kick this off the side rail, which is about the first diamond above the side pocket on the left. Make sure you miss the 3 and try to just make contact or make the 11. But try to leave the cue ball on a rail to make it hard to pocket the 5. The 3 will be safe or a very low percentage shot. That's probably the best he can hope. He's going to try to masse this ball, hit the rail, and spin the ball in. It looks like he's too close to the... I don't have the angle, but it looks like he's too close to do it. But if he hits just to the left of the first diamond that he's facing right now on the right, right above the side pocket, it might work. But he has to curve around it with a lot of spin. A ton of spin. And then it's a maybe. Huge maybe. But when you're desperate, maybes will work sometimes. He's going with the 1 rail cut. Oh, and the cue ball hit the bottom and came over to the middle, giving giving him an easy shot on the 5. Oh, Tyler will come down here. He'll eat this up for breakfast. He'll probably leave the cue ball about, close to the side pocket, straight in on the 3, so she can just draw it back for shape on the 8. He'll come to the bottom rail and come up towards the 3 and leave it very close to the side pocket along the rail. Well, from here, she probably won't draw down back to where it's at, so she's going to come across and he'll play the 8 ball in the corner pocket on the bottom right. It's nice to have the 8 ball out in the middle like that where you have your choice of pockets no matter, and an angle leads to wherever you want to go. Anything but drawing the ball and scratching in the side. Or that. This is not easy. He's going to be a little bit over the 11 ball. So it's gonna hinder his cueing. Preferably she would have gone 3 or 4 inches at least further to the right. The more to the right she went for 2 feet, the better off Tyler would be. Pressure shot here. He's feeling it. And as you can see, he's taking his time, getting set for a shot, pre-shot routine. All he has to do is make the ball, though. He doesn't have to play position. Sometimes those are the easiest shots to miss because you're so used to shooting shots and playing position that when it's only one-sided, you just don't execute it. But he looks pretty solid over this ball. He hit it perfect. He hit it perfect, and they just won the match. What a great match. Tyler Steyer and Bonnie Hunkins will move on, and Kelly Isaac and Brandon Hellett will be settled for 5th, 6th, and take home $300 for their efforts. We'll see you guys tomorrow. Last match for the night. Good night. This is George Teachea and Q Sports International signing off.
When I was a child, it only took one shot to change my life. I wanted to be the best. Looking back, my journey started from that moment.
Realizing your true potential requires total devotion. You must be prepared technically, physically, mentally, and make sure they are in balance. Achieving excellence depends on how much and how well you prepare. It all comes down to dedication. Quest for excellence.